we talk a lot on this show about, expectations, what can happen, what should happen, what we think will happen here or there. And Jeff, you weren't here for this. JB brought up, do you think the Lions will finish with a top 3, top 5, top 10 offense? It was just a casual conversation because PFF put out what they expect, which would be Kansas City to have the best offense, Philly at number 2, and they had the Lions as high as 3. And I disagreed, and I didn't love it. And I told JB I'd be more willing to commit to saying a top 7 offense, top 10 for sure, but top 7 I would put my neck out for. But it's tough for me to say top 3 or top 5 when I think of Kansas City and Philly, right? San Francisco, Seattle, adding JSN, Zach Charbonnet, Joe Burrow and company always going to be a threat. Lamar Jackson now going to be back for a full season, ideally, right?
Yeah, and you mentioned the Chiefs
Justin Herbert. I already mentioned the Chiefs.
Say the Chiefs by default.
You have Denver, Sean Payton. What are they going to look like on offense?
Right.
Like, to me, there's too many question marks around the league for me to say the Lions are going to be top 3, let alone top 5, when in reality you're favored in 12 of your 17 games this year.
Yeah, and
you're going to be playing you're going to be playing in front of teams. You're going to play ahead.
Yep.
You're going to want to run the ball, control the clock, punt away with a 2-possession game, and you're going to punt it away because you don't mind. You're just going to eat up 2, 3, 4 minutes, and then you're going to punt the ball away. And all right, try to beat us. Good luck.
And that, by the way, just to judge where the offense will be ranked, it's tough, to be honest with you, because last year, they were one of the best, at least scoring offenses, total yards. They were very productive. But the difference is you're not going to have Jameson the first 6 games. I know they didn't have him last year, but the difference is the depth is a little, like Marvin Jones, Josh Reynolds, Khalif Raymond, these guys are fine. And last year they were productive with them. But now they have an entire year on Ben Johnson. They have an entire year of tape. So a lot of this depends on how Ben adjusts with Jared because, again, they had a great year last year, but every year's different. They didn't have any tape on Ben Johnson last year. He came out, they struck gold, they were a top offense. Now this year, it's going to be a little different. There's going to need to be some adjustments, and again, you're depending on some rookies as well, like Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta. Those guys are going to have to make an impact day one, which I think they will, but there's a lot of pressure on those rookies. So for me to come out and say the Lions offense will be one of the best in the NFL, it's just not the case. I think they'll be top 10. I think that's fair. But to depend on multiple rookies and not have arguably one of the most explosive receivers in the NFL for the first 6 games, I know they didn't have him last year, but that's going to hurt by default. So
I think you're being a very generous man by even calling him that, but
just with his speed,
I get it.
Every time the facts are the facts.
Like to see it work.
When he touched the ball last season, it was explosive
nice.
plays.
It was 3 times.
So, but I'm curious who steps up at wide receiver besides Amon-Ra. I mean, Marvin Jones. What are you getting out of him? Are you going to have a similar season? Josh Reynolds stepped up last year, but they're going to need him again. So we'll see. And that offensive line, that's why we talk about the health of the offensive line. They got to stay healthy because that's where it all starts in the run game with that unit. So we'll see. I think they're a top 10 offense, no doubt. But
Lucas,
top 3, top 5, it's a little too high for me.
Let me ask you, Jeff would agree. Where do you have the Lions offense ranked? I think they're a top 10 offense this year.
I think they're a top 5 offense. I think we go, and you can rank these however you want. I think you have Kansas City, you have the 49ers, you have the Bengals. I would put the Ravens in there, but the Eagles, I'm not saying they're going to be a worse team overall, but they just lost Shane Steichen, who made Jalen Hurts what he is. He was their Ben Johnson. So to act like they're not going to take a small step back when I think the Lions are going to take a decent step forward, I think you can throw them all in top 5 all day.
Well, I think that's tough for me. I listed some of the teams. Go ahead.
Can I read off some teams for you, and you tell me if they're better or not? Okay. And,
are we going off of like statistics, or
scoring?
Just who you're taking to just be the most lethal?
I mean, if we're going ranking, we should go statistically.
Then yeah, I would say Lions could definitely.
Okay, so
with the
let me read off some teams. Okay, Chiefs.
No, they're not.
We'll go Bills.
Overall, like especially with the division, I'm taking the Lions.
Offensively.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're 1 of 2. Cowboys.
Yeah.
Cowboys.
I would agree with him on that.
Dakota Prescott.
So we got one so far that you think is better. 49ers.
Yeah, I'll give Niners.
Okay, so there's 2.
I think they're going to start out
Bengals.
Slow. Yep.
You give the Bengals, right? So there's 3. Eagles.
This year, no. Just off statistics.
I don't know. I get it.
They're in a tougher division. They're losing an offensive coordinator who built Jalen Hurts. They're losing Miles Sanders, and they're getting Rashad Penny and DeAndre Swift, who you don't know if they're going to be available.
What about Chargers now with Kellen Moore?
Chargers, That was a team that I was thinking of, but just as
Keenan,
overall,
Keenan,
top to
Mike
bottom,
Williams, Quentin
they're gonna
Johnston,
lose Keenan. I bet their offensive
Austin
line
Eckler
is not that good.
or Sean Slater.
I am not. The Chargers have a lot of good pieces, but the little details they have messed up on, and I think to have a consistent offense over a 17.
What about
season,
Ravens?
Ravens is one I consider, but I just, again, with that division playing outside statistically, with Lamar, you never know if he's going to be healthy. I like Lamar, but I think the Lions are offensively, they were top 5 last year and they got better. Why are we?
All right. Well, let me be real with you, Lucas, because the teams I just read off, I think I'd agree with about 6, 7 of these. So
That's fine.
That would by default make them top 10. You believe they're top 5, which you were right. You just named 4 you'd give, so they're top 5 to you.
Trying to think of
I just don't know if I could give the Lions, like personnel-wise, like Ben Johnson really makes this thing a little sweeter because schematically I have confidence they're better.
Yeah, but I got 9 quarterbacks in the AFC that are probably better than Jared Goff.
There
But
you
there's-
go.
there's
With better
situations and
receivers right now.
divisions,
With better receivers right now. So
You can't give me 9 better quarterbacks in a better situation though. And
I think Justin
as an
Herbert has a
overall
better
offense in
situation.
general.
I think Justin
He
Herbert,
does.
Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Mahomes by default.
Yes.
I think Russell Wilson with Sean Payton, a good run game, a better offensive line. I think that offense will be better. It's not proven, so I can't say it's proven.
I'm not willing
but
to say that.
I think there's Aaron Rodgers going to New York. I think he'll make them a better offense. Not Detroit
They're not gonna-
Lions
yeah, they're
good,
not gonna be
but
Lions caliber.
they'll be better. He's only a year removed from consecutive MVPs, so I'm willing to stick my neck out and say I think they could finish top 7.
yeah,
Top 10, I think by default, given it, they're as good as I think they're going to be.
absolutely.
But man, top 3, top 5.
What about Miami?
That's a tough one. You got Miami. That's another one. When Tua's healthy, they are.
Tua
Don't
healthy,
say-
I'll give it to him. But again,
So now
I
there's
don't-
5. So you now technically
I'm still going to take the Lions running game over Miami's rushing game. I think Jared Goff has all the ability that Tua Tagovailoa does, and I get that they have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, but we've already seen both of those guys get hurt before in their career. I am trusting the Lions offense a lot more. They're playing outside, especially later in the season when they play in the winter. I'm not trusting Tua in that offense. I'll trust Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, but Tua's got to get it to him.
All right. We'll leave it there.